in a line, my philosophy of education is the children choose us, we don't choose them. And that brings a lot of baggage with it sometimes. It brings a lot of chaos. And we have to make sure that we unpick all of that and give them a chance to move forward. I think what I bring, maybe that other people don't, is an acceptance that we have to cope with whatever's there and actually decide what's important and what's not important. I've got a phrase from Mr. Gove that I call garnish. The Secretary of State, not necessarily him, the Secretary of State is garnish in our world. It's on every plate, it has to be there because it makes things look a bit better. But actually, it's not that important. We can push it to the side and focus on the main part of the job. And for me, that's the children, whatever that means we have to do. It is, Ian Gilbert always, you know, he says on a regular basis, do what you need to do, but, you know, make sure you can sleep at night as well. So that's the key for me. We have to do what we've got to do to jump through those hoops, but actually we keep the core purpose of how we move these children forward at the heart of everything we do. Those that watch the series know that I say we're a no-fail organisation. I got a bit of grief on Twitter last night, actually, from somebody. No-fail for who? Staff or kids? You can't separate those things. You can't separate a member of staff being able to fail but then a child doesn't, because they go hand in hand. So that's not really an issue for me, but air traffic controller school, that's what I call us. Air traffic controllers don't fail. They fail, planes crash. We fail, children don't reach their life potential. I think the things that I particularly bring through either a conference talk or from reading a book is that even though that moral purpose that drives us all, and all good teachers have that, of, you know, trying to make life better for somebody else, we're in organisations, big organisations, you know, my school's 1,000 kids, 200 staff. You still need systems and structures in place that allow that to happen. So for me, it's, you know, I think hopefully people will go away from listening to me or reading something that I've written with actually, you know, the moral purpose doesn't need to be questioned in order to put a sanction in place for a child, for instance, because sometimes that sanction helps support that moral purpose. And if we can get the systems and structures right that allow children to understand their place, understand the boundaries, then actually that's the most inclusive thing. And sometimes that does include punishment, that does include, you know, detentions and those things. I'm not somebody who doesn't think uniform's important. I think that is important. But you can still do that in a way that allows them to feel supported and be able to progress. And I sort of hope that there's that people leave emotionally feeling taller, stronger. You know I'm doing a good job, but actually the only way we succeed is if we keep these structures in place together as a big school, not just as an individual. We can make a small difference as an individual, we can make a massive difference as a school. I think that decision, that game of scruples that every school has to do, and it is a game of scruples, it absolutely is, the decisions you have to make of what's the right amount of support to allow them to be successful, but not too much support to break down and not allow them to grow as individuals and adults. That's a really difficult thing to do. So in your classrooms, just think that a little bit, that tightrope you walk, and be proud of the fact that you walk it every day, because lots of people aren't brave enough to do that. And it's really, really important. The book I'm still writing is called The Best Job in the World. And actually, there's too many new teachers, and when I do performance management with my staff and I task them, you know, where's your dream job? How far up the tree do you want to go? Most people say assistant head, some say deputy head, but not enough say head teacher. And actually, at the start, the first step on the profession, that's where you should aspire to be. You know, if things change, circumstances in your life mean you don't get there, that's fine. But actually, you should aspire to be that. We make our children aspire to be the best they can be. That's what we do every day. I want people who are starting out in the profession, thinking about being in the profession, not thinking about being a head of department or being head of faculty, but actually thinking about doing the headship job, the job that has the biggest influence on the most people. Yeah, not on a hands-on day-to-day basis, I get that, and I miss that. As a PE teacher, I miss being out there muddy in February on the rugby pitch, I do. But I also know that if I can support those teachers to deliver that to children, I can make a bigger difference that way. And I want people to, you know, read the book and go, actually, I can do that, I know I can do that. Okay, it's going to take me a journey and I've got to learn some things on the way, but actually, to be honest, if Vic can do it, anybody can. And if that's what they get from that, that's fine.